Hi, I'm Joey Castro, and I'm here to teach the kids here at Santa Ana Public Library how to draw a manga character. Now, I'm liking to start with some parts that people tend to ignore, which are the hands and the feet. We're going to start with the feet here, since those are particularly difficult. And so I guess here we go. This is going to be a side view first. Keep on looking at the camera. Okay. So we have this general almost triangle shape here. Now I'm drawing light to start with because I'm going to be making a lot of corrections as I go. It's very important to remember to do that. Okay. Now see what I'm doing here? Little bump here from the ankle. I'm not putting too much emphasis on it. Any dark lines are the ones that I'm going to really stick with. So this is kind of an inside view of the foot. We're going to see from the big toe's perspective, which is really just sort of, bam, there's the big toe. Can't really see the other toes very well from this side. That's the way I'm drawing it. Hold on a second. Wish we had a foot cast we could bring in here. By cast, I mean a kind of model of a foot. It would actually be really useful.
More like plaster molds?
Yeah. There, that's a little bit better. So that's one foot right there. I could draw the other side of that. And draw the triangle again. Give me just a little bit. The other one. Now there's this little kind of curve, kind of like the ones you see in those socks with the toes on them. And interesting thing about the pinky toe is because of the shoe, whereas the other toes are kind of flat out, pinky toe is sort of like this. So actually from the side, hold on, a little funky right there. You draw that. Pinky toe is actually kind of visible from that side. Everything else just sort of comes along and drops. Comes along and drops. And then we've got the big toe, which comes along and has that big old da-da-da on the big toe. I'm not going to bother with the toenails here because you guys can figure that part out on your own. Plus, you're likely to be drawing shoes on these feet anyway, so this is just to help you guys get a general idea of how the foot underneath is built. Again, that little bump from the ankle. From the front and the back, because these are particularly difficult. The foot is largely just a series of triangles. Side views, front view, back view. Even when you're looking at it from the top and the bottom, it's still sort of triangular. Again, there's a sort of sock, the foot thing. So, like I said before, pinky toe kind of curves inward, and that's because of shoes. If you're wearing shoes, your pinky toe is probably shaped like that. Again, the toes come down. Come down. And we got the big toe, which kind of curves like this. Now, if you're curious in like the little kind of knuckle area, it's sort of like this. There's this sort of muscle, I don't really know what it's called, but it does this to the foot. It's a slight bump, I'm kind of exaggerating it. You wouldn't even notice in my shoes. Again, ankles, toenails, here we go. Make some funky shaped toenails. Some quick drawing. Gonna go ahead and do the back now. We have this.
Did you ask this game yesterday?
Back of the foot right
So
there.
this is the only game you have, right?
Seeing some toe action. Toe action over here. Sometimes the foot can be drawn. It's really kind of simple stuff, really.
That's big. Is your problem? They don't
Bit of view of the back going on. It just sort of depends. Let's forget about that. Let's go with the top and the bottom now. Draw. Should I make this the top or the bottom? I'll make this the bottom view. It's a little bit more than this. Big toe, and then we got the other toes. Can you guys see good?
Yeah, we're good.
Alright. Pinky toe is pretty much this. I'm just going to draw like those toes as little orbs right now to give you a good idea of what's going on here.
It's big different.
Fix this because this foot seems rather small for these toes.
Did you put something on my head?
There we go.
I don't think it's actually bound. Oh, so we don't need to touch it down.
So this is kind of a bottom view of one's foot. Top view would be along the same lines, same general lines.
Where's your butt cheek? Which one do you think? You don't have every
These toes going. Big toe. Muscle going on this. Kind of a top view. And the leg would be like around here. Toenails around here. Just be a good judge. If you need, look at your own feet. Now, because this is a how to draw manga class, there are a few different ways to draw heads. Different shapes, different kinds of eyes. It's not all just the same Pokemon, big eyes. There's different kinds of eyes. There's different noses. I'd like to go in a little bit of that, but large is going to be head shape, eye type, eyebrows, maybe some things with the hair. We're going to start with an infant's head, so we're going to do a few different views. Side view, front view, back view, a couple things. Now, infant's head is largely almost just a circle. Now, this is going to be kind of a side view, and I'm going to do facing this way so you guys can see the better. Now, again, this is how to do it from a manga drawer's perspective, so get some photos going on here. So this is actually kind of a side view with the cheeks and everything. Little tiny, little bit of a baby nose there. Going on here. Now the thing about babies is, some people draw them with the large eyes, some draw them with the small eyes. If you want to keep with the going. We're just going to go ahead and go with some very simple wide eyes to show, innocentness, like the baby. It's a chubby little baby. Side view of the mouth. Give him a big old smile. Yay. Chubby.
You don't remember Jerry?
Actually, not think those eyes. I'm not really too fond of those. Side view of the head. tongue sticking out like, yay! Little baby chin. Chubby baby head. It's got little ears. Hold on, let's kind of line this up properly. The thing about the ears is they line up with the bottom of the nose and kind of the top of the nose where it meets with the eyebrow. So let's bring that ear back up here. I rhymed. Talking too much. So, you've got this little ear going, and ears can be pretty simple. I like to just kind of draw ears like this. Simple little curves. Now, depending on whether you got like a little baby girl, baby boy, it doesn't matter because baby hair is all pretty much the same. It's all pretty much just this. Your little baby could have a bow in its hair because it's a baby girl or whatever you want to do. So that's the side view. Front view. So either side can be like this. You can do little variations, little eyelashes and such, what have you. On the baby's face, because a lot of baby fat, kind of heavy, and the weight of all that baby fat kind of plops down. It's almost, you're getting the weight of that face, so it's round, but the bulge goes like doo-doo-doo. So, with any head, there's sort of a guideline you can put together. Down the middle, about halfway through is where the eyes are. Then there's the nose line, which is roughly a third of the way, and then the mouth again, and another third. You can do it with most faces. You can change the variation a bit depending on whether you're making a long face or a short face. But that's kind of the general rule. Let's keep this line going for the ears. A little bit higher up because of the eyebrow line, which is again where the ears go. See that? Ears. So I'm going to kind of try and line things up a bit. Because I'm trying to draw the same baby. Which can be difficult. So I've got this little sort of pudgy baby nose going. So I'm just going to draw this little almost circle. You could draw it a few other ways, but we can get into that later. This is just some basics. Explore on your own. Now again, baby eyes. So we're going to make this sort of wide-eyed curve at the bottom because baby's got little baby chubby baby cheeks. Little chubby baby cheeks. Eyes feel a little bit far apart. A lot of corrections being made are always good. You never get anything right the first time. Remember that. No one gets it right the first time. Little raised eyebrows like, what's up? I'm a baby and I'm excited to see everything. Big ol' happy smile going on, but again, those chubby baby cheeks. Those little dimples in the way. Big old smiley face. Maybe have those little gums there. If you like it back in Rugrats. See the tongue in there. Da-da-da-da. Baby's all wide-eyed and excited. That's a scary, almost scary looking baby, like, I want you. Now, because this is a how to draw manga class, there's always that little gleam in the eye. Well, some artists do it different ways, but the general sort of thing is just a little circle going on over here. You're not going to join in, Nyla? Mm-hmm. In drawing the baby face?
Sorry, I was kind of going in a different direction.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Both of their eyes going. You can do it different ways to include the pupil. Because this view is a front view, it's a little bit easier to see it. From the side view over here, we could have just done a little gleam there and da-da-da-da-da for the pupil. Little chubby face. Little baby chin. I'm actually really proud of how this baby's coming out. It's looking like an adorable little baby. some people don't like to draw ears, but you gotta remember, every face, every person, well, not every person, some people might have them, but in general, good rule of thumb, people have ears. So, keep that in mind. We'll get to ear shape in a minute, but right now we're just gonna do these general kind of goofy, big old ears for this baby. Because, let's face it, sometimes babies can look a little bit goofy, no matter how adorable. And again, the hair, kind of a little zigzag for now. Why not? It's really simple, very thin hair. We'll go about it different ways. Put that bow back in the hair. Don't have to, but helps. Back view of the head is going to be the easiest part of this whole thing. Now the ear is sort of this almost bell shape. I can't quite explain it, but you got this part here that kind of is a nice flat thing, and this bolt. Can you get a good view of it? Almost bowl in the back. So that's what we're kind of trying to capture here. Is the almost bowl-like quality of the ear. I'm going off the page. Sorry about that, but you can just copy that from this side to that side. And back of the neck, which kind of goes around here. And then there's little lines for the hair, whatever you want to do. You can make it one solid mass. It's manga. Hair can sometimes be multiple lines, or it can be one solid, almost shell-like thing. And again, that bow on top of the head, just for show. I show the bow. Now, before I get back to the head, I'd like to get to features of the head. Let's go with eyes first. Now, like I said before, there's many different ways you can draw an eye in manga. Usually to convey different kinds of personality or mood.
How are you? I'm good, and you? I'm good. What?
Generally, let's just treat this eye, this circle right here, as a base. Now, one kind of eye, an eye that I usually go with, is sort of almost typical.
Getting up and seeing what he's doing? What?
Now again, different ways you can treat that little gleam on the eye. I'm drawing on a rather large sheet of paper, so I'm making a very small kind of gleam. So, here's a pupil you can go with. One thing I also like to do is include some of the wrinkles around the eye. Not necessarily a lot, but typically that general kind of fold around the eyelid at the top. We could, again, just include some eyelashes if you'd like. Eyebrows are kind of interesting. For this eye, I really feel an eyebrow like this is appropriate, which is in itself almost a triangle. Another kind of eye that's very common is a sort of sharp and narrow eye. Usually convey a very serious character or someone who might be very tough.
They don't get a dartboard, I don't think they get parked on there by foot.
There's another way to draw that as well. You can always kind of just do one solid line. Oops. My eraser. Again, corrections are always good. These are all very basic. And again, at any time, you can go ahead and throw in eyelashes, which for this eye would probably look best like this. Continuing all the way around to probably about here. But I'm not going to go that far. Okay, let's go over a little more cheery sort of eye. The big wide eye, the famous giant anime eye.
I hate those.
You hate those?
I don't hate them. They usually show your beats and stuff.
I have a certain liking for the shoujo style, actually.
Do you like the shoujo style?
I think there's something nice and clean about it, for the most part. So here we go. Big old eye. Dun 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 dun. Pokemon.
Nature Boy, actually.
It is, isn't it?
I love those eyes.
Which one?
Now, eyebrows are also kind of a fun thing to go with. I really like to play with eyebrows. There's the typical, again, Pokemon where it's just one solid line. There's the eyebrow I made here. For this kind of eye right here, I kind of picture a very smooth, thin eyebrow, but still with a little bit of weight to it. Different kind of eyebrows you can do. Thick, solid rectangles. Fun. If anyone gets the reference of what this eyebrow is. Then
Rock Lee.
that is a good reference. Not the one I was actually thinking of at the time. Some eyebrows are sharp in the backside, so here's an eyeball right here. And it's sharp here. Okay. To give you a good idea of what I mean by that, I mean, it's the opposite side. Let me draw a quick little face. Little oval. The line guide from before. So another kind of eye I like to do is sort of like this one. This guy's going to be looking slightly to the side, kind of looking at the camera there. And different kinds of eyebrows that can be done. I can do a big old bushy brow like this. I can do an eyebrow like that. Or thin brow. Maybe something a little fancy. Ooh, it's got a curl at the end. Eyebrows are fun. If you want to draw manga, have fun with any feature. Whether it's eyes or, ooh, how about an eye like this? There are always all sorts of eyes you can go with. Again, eyelashes if you want. These are always features you can play with. And for added fun, I'm going to throw in a unibrow.
Yes.
This guy has big old unibrow going on. Actually, it's almost like the anime version of Helga Pataki now that we're at it. So these are some basic eyes. Let's see, are there any kind of eyes anyone else could think of? Oh, there are the beady little eyes, just the little circles.
No, I want to.
Let's see, what are some other eyes? I'm trying to think of some other eyes.
Oh, those that are like where the people's just kind of like a slit, like a lizard.
Oh yeah, there's what?
Like a lizard.
Oh, well, those are different kinds of pupils. That is a good point.
Or like those that are just kind of like an upside down triangle.
Or you could do like little dots as eyes.
Yeah, that was what this is.
Oh,
right
you already
here.
did it.
Yeah, eyebrow.
Missed it.
Sometimes the sharp eyes might have something scary like a lizard sort of thing going. Typically not safe for the other kind of eyes, but it happens from time to time. So that's eyes. Next move, we're going to go for noses. Now, the common thing you see a lot in anime, especially stuff from like the 90s, carried on now, is a basic triangle, kind of just going like this, from the side and from the front. What amounts to basically the shadow on the side of the nose from when the light isn't hitting. Different ways people go about this. In Dragon Ball, it's a lot like the bottom shadow meets the side shadow. But we're going to go with some variety of noses here. One thing that I've been picking up lately for front view and side view is, okay, let's go with the front. It's basically this slight triangle and shadow down like this. It's kind of an interesting thing because it's supposed to be the shadow for this part of the nose right here. You can include nostrils if you'd like, doing different ways. It looks kind of goofy the way I've been drawing it, but let me try it again. Let's start with the side view. So I'm going to draw the side of a head. And we're getting to the head structures in just a little bit. For now on, we're just going to go with this guy's head. So we have here a very gentle nose. Very simple. We can go with a large nose. We can go with something with a little bit more character, a little bit of a bump out. something almost Squidward-like. Now for that nose, if we wanted to draw it from the front, we're going to draw this sort of almost an egg shape. You can just draw this. You can draw it like this, and it's like the nostrils there, but you don't always have to draw those. Just can come with like nice little lines from the side of the face. Let's see, some of those other noses I drew before, like a simple nose like that. And it's sort of a triangle. The nose is sort of a triangle, you see. Now, I'm drawing light here just to get a good feel for it. Bit of a curve here. So ultimately what we might end up drawing will wind up looking something like this. Because in anime and manga, especially back in the 90s and the 80s, they used to do this thing where it was just sort of implied there. It was just suggested by the shadows. Nowadays, people will just kind of do this sort of thing where it's the nostrils and maybe part of the curve of the nose, which is, again, a good way to go about it. It really just depends on what works for you. If you just want to draw a face that has a little bump like that, that's perfectly fine. But you can also go for things that are like this. Really, manga and anime have a larger variety than what's always seen on TV. There can be all sorts of noses you can go with. It's some pretty simple stuff. Just play around with the features, just see what you like. Maybe a nose from the front will be shaped something like this on a face, just a triangle. It all really depends on what you want to do. Next, we're going to go with a variety of head structures like with the baby, but we're going to keep it very simple since I've already shown you some eyes and noses. Ears can stay fairly simple. You can just do different shapes. But I'll show you the head structures next. Our next demonstration will be head structure. That way you know where to put like the eyes and the ears and the mouth and the nose. Okay, so basic, fairly common structure, especially in things like anime and manga, is what amounts to basically an oval. So this will be a front view of a head. This is a much more youthful head, probably a middle school or high school character, really just depending on how you want to draw them. So we have these guidelines, like shown with the baby. Eyes would be going around here, really. Let me just go ahead and hold the pencil like y'all gonna be holding the pencil.
Y'all gonna?
Yep, y'all. Eyebrows. Keeping it very simple.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is being recorded. I'm gonna go ahead and do a nose like this, just for the fun of it. Although, of course, those at home more accustomed to more of a tradition. Shadow. Got the eyes going. All fairly traditional. Now, as you're probably noticing, I'm doing a lot of light drawing with a lot of heavy drawing. For those kids at home who haven't taken a lot of art classes, that's a very good way to start, because that way any kind of correction you need to make will be a lot easier. You can always get rid of lines you don't need later on. Little smiley face for now. Different ways you could draw the mouth. I like to include this sort of area right here where the chin and the lower lip meet. I'm going to draw it like this. You got your ears going on. Fairly simple. Oh, let's make sure these things are lining up. Nope. Now, when it comes to hair, there are many different ways to portray that. Now, the hairline is kind of interesting, the way it kind of goes around with different people. So we're just going to give this sort of basic side view. We're gonna treat this guy like he's got a shaved head. So there's there's a few different kind of hairlines you can have. There's a sort of smooth, just curve that's going along with the forehead. Fairly common hairline. Another one that can be had is what's called the widow's peak, like Dracula. He's got the little sharp thing going down.
Vegeta.
Yes, for be more in the know about anime, there's the widow's peak, which is fairly sharp. It can be exaggerated different ways, but it's fairly sharp.
Forehead and
Oh, his forehead and
No,
he's also sort of a in-between where it's curved. Also, some people who have that hairline kind of going in a little bit like that. Hair, there's different ways to draw hair in general. You can have hair that's parted in the middle. You can have that spiky hair. Really, when it comes to anime and manga, hair can be like anything. So have fun. You can make them have snail shell hair for all you care.
it doesn't even have to follow the laws of gravity.
Gravity and physics don't matter when it comes to anime and manga hair.
hell?
Guys,
Guys, leave me.
middle film. So we're getting a little side view of this person's head.
edit that.
Please do edit that. Interesting thing about the neck, it's basically right in the middle, and your head is sort of this oval with this little part attached. So we're going to go ahead and go the side view of the eye. Just kind of a side view of an oval. Hold on, I'm going to change that up a bit. There we go. Because the eyelid typically kind of goes over that top part. Here's where things get a little bit tricky. Because of this shape right here. See that? Am I getting a good angle so you can see a little shape right there? So you've got this going on. And you got, again, those different kinds of noses from earlier, but this guy's, the way I drew him, kind of has a fairly simple, standard nose. In comes one of the more difficult parts. The lip area, chin, smiling like this. The way I drew that hairline, it's sort of like this. Get that ear in there. And again, any kind of hair, anything, just have fun with it. Let's see if I were to try and draw something a little bit more narrow, a more narrow-faced person.
I'm not a girl.
I'm gonna draw a girl this time.
Yes, please.
All right. We have an audience, by the way. Oh, the audience at home and the audience here. It's audienceception. So because of this more narrow face, I think those narrow cat-like eyes from before might be a little bit more appropriate. Let's see, bringing all sorts of elements together. Her nose. Do I want to give her a small feminine nose? Do I want to give her something a little bit more different? The heck. I'm going to give her this sort of triangle going on here. From a side view, she might have a larger nose. Girls can have big noses too, what happens. Now, if you want to include lips, I don't typically do this, but I'll give you guys a quick little show on how to do that. It's a quick little tutorial. Let's see, it's about halfway, so okay. Lips are basically like this. Now, one thing you gotta keep in mind is the top lip is always darker because it's got that shadow going on. It's curving inward and getting less light. So, it's a little bit darker. So if you want me to include lips on her, I'll include some lips. Not really my style, but for you guys. Now let me think of a hairdo. Okay, I think I got one. Just some basic bangs going on. Through your ears. So I guess a side view of that would be someone give me the time really quick?
5:30.
Oh yeah, let's make this quick. I'll give a few more demonstrations of some basic heads and then we'll call it. Okay. But because of this shape, I kind of think he's going to have something of a more noticeable nose. Again, nose is happy. And always make sure to make your corrections, make some judgments on where things belong. Now you can always go with a simple kind of nose, like this line would be over here, be more simple, typical anime nose. But I'm liking this big nose, so I'm going to keep it. Keeping that big nose. Let's get in that hair.
So Joey, on the next segment, I understand that you'll be drawing hands.
Oh, right. Oh, they'll be getting the yes. I'm being very sketchy, but doing a clean drawing at the end isn't too hard. Let's do a few more heads really quick. Just some. Oops. Do you want to include the nostril? Nostril probably about. There we go. Let's include on this guy too. Alright. Now I'm going to do a fat head, more square jawed head, and we'll call it a day with those. So it's kind of like the baby head, just a little bit longer. So here we go with the fat guy. As you can see, I know a thing or two about a fat guy's head. Part of making somebody seem fat is the proportions of the face itself are going to be a little bit smaller because it's not that the face is small, it's that the rest of the head is so much bigger. So we're putting in those facial features. Let's fix this up a bit. He might have kind of a nose like that. smiling. And the face you're going to draw is going to be rounder. Not a full circle, just kind of that heavy oval from before. You got your ears, and whatever kind of hair you want to draw. Let's go ahead and give this guy a hair comb to the side. So that's somebody who's fat. And you could do that with, a man or a woman. Give this guy a big old mustache if you want. Look at that mustache. It's an awesome mustache. Better than my mustache.
Uncle Tom, hello.
Okay, and we're going to give a quick square-jawed face for now. Oh, want to see a side view of the fat head? Let's do that. That's probably a good idea. So let's... Alright. A lot of general circles. We're going to refine those circles as we go. So we got that eye from before, eyebrow. Now because he's big, his features aren't very sharp. Everything's a lot of curves because everything is just rounder. I'm going to give this guy a round nose. I'm going to include that mustache from before because I like that mustache. This is our fat guy's head. Big round chin, maybe neck's round like that. Side view of the hair. And there you go. Quick little square-jawed head. Let's do a side view of that first. Square-jawed heads are actually kind of easier. It's really just boxy. Big necks. Square-jawed guys have big necks. And have a big chin. Big nose. That's basic head shape for a square-jawed guy. Let's go ahead and do the front view of that square-jawed guy. Old-fashioned Superman look. That's what the square-jawed man has. Dun 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 dun. He is not amused. Some basics. And there you go. Heads for the day. Thank you very much. For this demonstration, I'm going to show you guys a basic way on how to draw hands. So, the basics are almost an oval. Kind of an egg shape. But one side is going to be taller than the other. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So, this view is pretty much just going to be a front view of the left hand. Halfway down this shape, cut this line through here to show where the fingers start. This little shape here is where the thumb's going to go. Thumbs are pretty short, really. They kind of stop just after the finger starts. So, basic here. Cut this into 4 parts for the fingers. For those digits. Now, one thing most people may not notice is the middle finger is actually the longest finger. It's slightly tall with the index finger, tallest with the middle. Then it goes down pretty quick, actually, from the other 2 fingers over. And like I said before, anytime you need to make corrections, go ahead and do that. Corrections are important. Sometimes I draw these a little bit too wide, so I have to fix them. Like I said. Nobody ever draws them perfect the first time. The knuckles follow the same pattern as the fingers, only with the first set being the longest and is medium length, and the top joint is the smallest. So generally the knuckles are about here. Just showing you where they are, basically. Fingernails. Side view of the hand is a little bit tricky. In later tutorials, I'm going to be showing you how to build more expressive features and using people to model for you. But for now, we're just going to go with something very simple. So this is one possible side view. Actually, let me scratch that. It's not doing quite what I want it to. I'm going to go from here. This little shape, kind of similar to what we worked with the feet earlier. This is a view from the pinky side, so pinky's still fairly small compared to everything else. You just gotta switch it around for the other side. Top view of the hand, bottom view of the hand doesn't really matter. For I wanted to do this for the bottom view for the palm. Just, like I was saying earlier, actually. Before I was saying, listen to this. Where those fingernails include these particular lines. You can choose how much you want to demonstrate. I don't typically demonstrate that line. Include the wrinkles that go between those joints. Little tiny zigzag, that's really all you need to use manga style. And that's it for basics for the hand. Next time we will go with tutorials on the body.